while. There we go. It's like a ShamWow. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. What we're going to do here is kind of give a team overview, basic 411 on what we do, what kind of got us into it. A little bit about the team. It's a pretty unique team, I would say, as far as backgrounds and history goes. And any questions at all, pop up, speak up, try to make this real fun for everybody. So the first thing we're going to do is go over a presentation we put together called Paranormal Reality, Resident Undead. And we're going to kind of, talk about, like I said, more about us, get more into depth about it. And I guess we can start here. Can you guys see that okay?
We can kill the lights. You guys have lights to cut? We'll just kill the lights. It'll be easier for you guys to see.
We're used to working in the dark anyway.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you.
So this is Resident Undead, Paranormal Reality. We're just kind of taking a look over that poster that was put out. Our information right there. We'll get back to that at the end, obviously. So just to give you a little background about Resident Undead and what we do, what we are. It was actually created in 2010 by Adam Kimmel, right there. We have filmed, up to this point, we filmed and produced 15 full episodes. They run about anywhere from 40 to 42 minutes long, except for our Villisca, Iowa, which is about an hour and a half. I don't think we're ever going to do that again for editing purposes. That was the longest 2 months I've ever been involved in, more so Adam. We recently just finished, and we were really proud of this. A&E, anybody know about the A&E Shorty Awards that were out? It was an online award system for social media, and one of the categories was YouTube star. And our videos are posted on YouTube under Adam Kimmel's name. We actually finished as one of the top 50 finalists, 46th in the world, which we were actually really happy with. It proved right there, that with the way the world's connected, social media, you can do things from your home. And we were up there with the likes of, athletes. There were some WWF wrestlers on there. Justin Bieber was about 3 pages ahead of us, but he was on there as well. I think he was number 3 overall. Most notably, I guess, what most people know us for, we did win the series premiere Paranormal Challenge last year on the Travel Channel. That was a fun experience.
Woo! Thank you.
Walked away with a little bit of bragging rights, I guess, for one week. And we actually just recently crossed the line that we were actually real proud of the most watched paranormal series on YouTube, which is quite a feat because we've been around for about a year and a half now, and we just crossed 100,000 views on there. So that really got us excited because, we do base a lot of our stuff off of YouTube itself. This picture is actually from the Pennhurst State School. Anybody ever hear of Pennhurst? Yeah, that's from my area about, so we were down home for a little bit for that. Kind of transitioning over. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over actually to Adam Kimmel right here to introduce more about himself and what he does with Resident Undead.
All right, first off, thank you, SRU Paranormal, for having us out tonight. Let's give them a round of applause. I appreciate it. As a lot of you know, Daniel and myself are alumni from Suburb University, so it feels great to be back here. A lot of memories pulling into the parking lot and all that stuff. My story is very unique, okay? I came here not knowing what I wanted to do with my future, like a lot of you. We all started that way, undecided. And my sophomore year, I decided that I was going to get into politics. That's clearly paranormal, by the way. And so I decided I was going to get into just for the effect, we got to have it dark in here. There we go. I decided I was going to get into political science, international security, and all the good stuff like that. And hopefully my advisor's not here tonight, which I did not see him, so I can talk about this, is when I was about to graduate, I was offered an internship in Washington, D.C. To just, shadow politicians, that kind of stuff. And I told him, I'm not going to do it. I decided against it. I did 4 years, 5 years actually here at Slippery Rock, and I decided I'm going to get into ghost hunting. And everything. that's odd, and he thought it was odd too when I told him that on the phone. And it's because 2 months prior to my internship, I was watching all these shows on TV, Ghost Hunters, Paranormal State, Ghost Adventures, all these guys, right? And my girlfriend at the time saw that I was watching all these shows, and I was like, I'm one of those people when I watch a show, I try to understand what's going on. I watch the equipment, I watch the sequences, I don't really care about the plot. And I said, you know what? They could easily be faking this stuff. This stuff's so easy to fake. You can be whispering into recorders, you can manipulate the audio, all this stuff. And then she said to me, she's like, well, why don't you go out and see for yourself? I'm thinking that's the best thing you could have said to me. So I went on eBay, and I bought a camcorder and a digital voice recorder, right? And I went into a cemetery by myself, just one near the area actually, and I walked out there alone, and I said, if something's going to be real, I'm going to know because there's no one else out here to contaminate my evidence. And for a lot of people, you need to have that personal experience before you get into this. I could tell you guys 100 ghost stories. It is just a story. Until you have the evidence personally for yourself, you're not really a true believer. Went out to this cemetery around 3 a.m. because I hear that's the dead hour. And I'm just using terms I know, right? So I go out there thinking this is the most highly active paranormal time. During that time, walking out within 1 hour, I captured a voice. It's EVP, electronic voice phenomena, some voice that should not be recorded within the device. And that voice said, help, okay? Knowing that I was alone, that should not have been there, that sold me immediately. Afterwards, I reviewed the video frame by frame and found that I had some kind of visual anomaly come into my frame, which actually, I'll tell you what, looked like a shoulder and two heads looking into my camcorder's light and then pulling away. That right there sold me as far as the audio and the visual. That right there is what convinced me to tell my professor that I'm going to turn down an internship from Washington, D.C. because I have now a curiosity and passion towards this. Because, you know, most of us, once you find something, you want to know what it is, right? And that's what happened to me. That's what started this whole quest from there. And we'll get farther into that, but that's how it started for me.
And next up is actually our newest member, Jordan Murphy.
Hi everybody, my name's Jordan. I am the newest member with Dan and Adam. I'm actually from West Virginia, from the Morgantown area, if you guys know where that's at. I went to West Virginia University. I graduated last year with a bachelor's in sports psychology. I actually just got accepted to go back to get my master's in counseling, so just let you guys know a little bit about me. I got into the paranormal at a very young age. My area has a lot of folklore, a lot of history attached to it. I grew up about 20 minutes, a half hour away from the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, if any of you guys have heard of that. So I've been into this for a really young age. I saw an apparition in an old house that has ties to the Civil War, a lot of Native American, there's a Native American burial ground right beside the house. Saw an apparition in the upstairs right-hand window. And at the time, I was kind of like, did I really just see that? And it scared the hell out of me when I was 9 years old. You know, I was like, oh my God, there's a man looking at me. A few years later, someone actually purchased the house, and I went back into it, and I went into that room in the middle of summer, and it was freezing cold in this one room for absolutely no reason. Like, just, if you've ever been on an investigation, you walk in an area and you just know something's in there, and you get that like extremely creepy feeling. That's what I felt, and that was enough for me. I was like, okay, this is actually real. And then in 2009, October 2009, my brother passed away from suicide. So, you know, that to me, I kind of snapped, and I was like, you know, what really happens, you know, when we die? And a lot of people kind of think that's real morbid, and you know, why would you get into this and this and that? And for me, that was all I needed to basically validate, you know, I need to know because I have a lot of unanswered questions. So I kind of started this journey, and I reached out to some local groups and got hooked up with one group, and just basically jumped headfirst in, and you know, and then I ended up with these guys. So here we are.
movie's Ghostbusters. It's great, it's a movie I think. Number 2, I was actually born the day it came out, June 8, 1984. Third interesting factor, for those two, I am never once interested in paranormal stuff in real life. What happened to me was like Adam, I went to school, and I left Slippery Rock and went back to Philadelphia, which is where I'm from, and ended up working at Vanguard Financial Services. It was in 2007 to about 2011 I was in it. Very horrifying time, trust me, most horrifying place I've been in 2008 dealing with personal finances. But I was just really bored with everything. I was out. I had a career per se. I was doing okay. I was bored though. Me and Adam and I kept in touch. And one day I remember reading on his Facebook, I see what he'd been up to. And I remember I would text him all the time, like, what are you doing? You ghost hunting now? I've never really watched it, I know about it. And he would, answer my call and text like, yes, I'm ghost hunting now. I kind of would always say, well, tell me how it goes at the cemetery. And then one day on his Facebook status, he said that he was going to Iowa to confront the evil that's in Villisca, Iowa. That I misspelled and mispronounced about 25 times before we actually got there. So I Facebooked him, I said, what's in Iowa? And he proceeded to tell me about this axe murder house that happened in 1912. 4 children and 2 adults murdered in a house, unsolved mystery. Back in the 1900s, it was not as fancy as CSI or Law and Order SVU like it is nowadays. They found the bodies, and because they didn't have the technology or the forensic back then, the town people actually would go through and look at it and was like see and try to help the police and contaminate it. So out of the blue, obviously, I'm bored, I'm not doing anything. I want to go to Villisca, Iowa with you, man. Please take me to Iowa. I want to see if this stuff's real. And he ignored me the first time. But he thought I was joking.
I did, that's true.
So I called him a week later. Hey, you still going to Iowa? I don't want to go. He ignored me as an other week. So third time I called him, finally called me back to go to Iowa. And we jump in a car, and I'll never forget this. But I traveled 6 hours up here about, and then get in a car for another, 13 hours to Iowa. And I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. He showed me the equipment in the car. He explained to me, what an EVP is, what a digital voice recorder is. Basically how you stay out of the way while they're doing something and still enjoy it. And we get there. And we're setting up, we had our camera guy with us at one point. There was somebody that was helping us with the camera work before we had Jordan on board. And him and I were upstairs setting up. It was a very small house, probably I'd say about 2 stories, 600 square feet.
Very, very small, very small.
And I'm coming up there, and we're setting up some cables, and I come walking down, and me and the other guy are walking down the stairs, and Adam jumps out the closet, and we jump back, and we're all laughing, and I hear 2 little girls over there. I looked at him. He looks at me. He goes, Daniel, I've known you about off and on for about 3 or 4 years by now. That's the wildest I've ever seen your eyes in my whole life. And we lost it right there. I was so, it took me a while for the heart of seeing what was happening, but I literally heard 2 little girls laughing. And right there, I was like, wow, like that really, really shocked me. My mother, who I told, she dealt with it very spiritual. And she goes, be careful what you're getting into, but have fun with it as well. So after we went to Villisca, Iowa, it just kind of picked up. And next thing I know, we were Madison Seminary. We were just, packing up and going places left and right. And then a couple months later, we were eating birthday cake with Zach on the Travel Channel and Paranormal Investigator. So that's my story. So I kind of went in. I was always a believer. We had some paranormal experiences, or some I would say they were odd coincidences. He would say they were paranormal in college in Slippery Rock here, up the road at you guys up in the police station. And that's why I ended up in paranormal. But I wanted to, I think I'm one of the ones that went in kind of on the edge, and then one little trip to Iowa pushed me over. Now I'm just like obsessed with it, to the point that about 7 months after Iowa, I gave my 2 weeks to my company, moved out here, and started doing this full time to feed my parents. I went back to graduate school, so that's my day job. I give planetarium shows to children up in Edinburgh, and at nighttime I do this. So that's my story right there. All right, how many of you guys are here in the game? Is it the 9 degrees? I hope it's the 9 degrees. I want to be really bad. Or is it the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon? Anybody ever hear that game?
I think it's 6 degrees.
6 degrees? All right, I messed up by 3. I'm sorry.
You guys get the point, though.
What this is, it's 2 states, 2 teams, 1 tweet. The story. Because how many of you in here are actually in a paranormal group yourself? And were you guys all logistically close together, pretty much? In the same area, or no? Yeah. No.
However it falls, it works.
However it falls. But I think it's funny that a lot of people we do talk about, including ours, are really from different areas. In this case, Adam and I had that past shared connection. But I was 6 hours away from Philadelphia when everything happened. Jordan was in West Virginia, WVU.
Let's get the picture yet. Yeah, we didn't mention it yet.
Just kind of go over real quick on how we all ended up doing the Resident Undead thing. So once again, it started in a very quaint town that we've all come to know and love, home of Bob Stubbs, Slippery Rock University. And I actually ended up out here on a scholarship. But I remember when I applied for school, which was back in graduated in 2001. My applied for school was in 2001. Anybody big WWF fan back in the day? They had like Stone Cold, Steve Austin, The Rock, the good times. Yeah. I saw a school called Slippery Rock University. I went to the website, they had a communication program. I was interested in doing journalism. And the first thing I see when I go on there is the school logo that says The Rock. I was sold. I was pretty much sold. So I applied here and I came up here, and that's actually where I met Mr. Kimmel. And Adam and I were really, really, really good friends when we first met each other. We just couldn't get enough of each other, one bit.
A romance picture right here.
It actually, we weren't big fans of each other at first. We were both, I guess you could say you can't put 2 in the same one circle. We were very similar in mannerisms, very similar in everything we do, to the point that, we got along, we lived together, but I lied about how much rent we paid, he moved in with me. So that started off right there. But it actually turned into a real good friendship. We were in fraternity Alpha Sigma Phi, and right here, this is actually where he was telling me that we were going to be ghost hunting 6 years later. And that was that good old Keister Apartments. I hope they're still up and running. And that is 2 of the pictures from our trip to the Villisca, which is, it holds a special place in my heart. I never thought that I would consider a small town on the edge of Iowa my second home, but we're actually going back there this summer for a homecoming per se. And then for West Virginia. West Virginia produced sweet Jordan Murphy. And we were actually introduced through,
Before that, the tweet stuff,
well, I want to talk about my friend Robert Massey here.
Okay, all right.
This man, I talked to him to this day. He was actually one of the casting agents for Paranormal Challenge. Coolest dude ever. If you ever get to talk to him. And we always kind of joke with him on Twitter and on Facebook that he brought us together. He's a good guy, though. Really nice guy. And then it comes over to Zach Beggins.
We all know who Zachary is.
I didn't know who Zach was, so I had to watch Ghost Adventures one day. But I said to him, so this paranormal investigating stuff, what should I do to prepare to go to Villisca, Iowa? And he goes, well, there's Ghost Hunters on Sci-Fi. He goes, watch that for the scientific stuff. He goes, there's Ghost Adventures on Travel, watch that for kind of the edgier stuff. And then he goes, when you get scared, watch The Haunted on the Animal Channel. That's pretty cool. And he also said to Google it, and unfortunately we all know that we go to Google first now. We don't read, but Zach, I guess, wanted to do that Paranormal Challenge show, which was cool. I mean, everybody had fun. And now, we were actually on 2 different episodes. Jordan was on the Moundsville one, and we were at the Rolling Hills Asylum. And after that, actually, Jordan, why don't you go ahead and talk about the infamous tweet?
Okay, so I kind of had this vision after Paranormal Challenge. I started getting in contact with some of the groups, and I was like, you know what? It would be a really cool idea to get like 4 groups together and do a location. So I thought, oh my gosh, Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum is the perfect location. 244,000 square feet. It's huge. And I thought we could put 4 teams in there and get no contamination. And I found these guys on Twitter actually, and I was like, they look pretty cool. They're from the Pittsburgh area, so they're about an hour away from me. So I sent Adam a tweet and I said, hey, I'm for Paranormal Challenge too. I said, can you message me when you get a chance? So he did, and I said, I let him know, hey, I'm trying to get a
their list of investigations. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I've seen that list. I'm jealous.
You have quite the resume, Steele Town.
Paranormal Challenge, it was fun. It was different. I don't know. We got, we kind of played the antagonist role. It was fun. Is anybody here from the Philadelphia area? Anybody here really just not like Philadelphia sport fans at all?
All right.
I remember when the producer came up and we were explaining that, Pittsburgh, Mercer, Philadelphia. And she said, well, we're going to say you got to put Philadelphia. It sounds a little bit more dirty. I was very taken back by that, but.
Plus, when the balls were looking for us, we were going to find Daniel, so.
And then, Jordan, you were at the Moundsville one. And kind of an overview now, on the line before I got here, trying to make this black font, and it went from white to the red. So, if you guys can't see that, we have like a list after this, so I do apologize for that. But kind of places that we've been, Hillview Manor, Knickerbocker Hotel, Penn State School, over in Ohio, Madison Seminary, Calvin Center, Mansfield Prison, Ohio State Reformatory, Iowa, the Ballistic Action Center House. And has anybody here actually been to Ohio State Reformatory? Anybody here be Shawshank Redemption? Anybody here be Shawshank Redemption fan? Yeah. One of the coolest things there, and I'm actually more excited about the Shawshank Redemption stuff at Ohio State than the actual ghost hunt.
It was.
Actually, they have, it's where they filmed the Shawshank Redemption. And one of the coolest things they have, they actually have the molding of where Andy Dufresne's brought out of. And it's only one piece. And when Brooks hung himself in the halfway house, they have that there, Brooks was here. So that was pretty cool. So think about these places, when you travel, you get to see a lot of cool things other than paranormal, investigations. And the road is one thing I do like. Not the way gas is, but it is one thing I do like. Sedansville Rectory, one of the golden gems out there. If anybody ever gets a chance to Google, or you guys want to go to a really great place that is just amazing, Sedansville Rectory. I remember I think they were real close to closing down these things, but there was an online petition, and there was so much support for them on the online world that I believe that they're back up and running, but just an amazing place altogether. We went to some little place in Kentucky called Bobby Matthews. That was interesting. And the old South Pittsburgh Hospital in Tennessee. Once again, if you guys ever get down there in Tennessee, can't say enough good things about this place. It's literally a full-service hospital, and the owners are great people. They actually have surveillance cameras inside the building. So when you're done, you can actually purchase the security camera DVDs, your own personal DVDs and DVRs.
Let me say something about Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. Awesome people, Cindy and Doug, run the place. You want to talk about hardcore tenants or homeowners? These guys live in the hospital, all right? Because this took me off guard first. They live in 2 rooms that are the psych ward, so if anyone has any experience in paranormal activity, it's going to be these 2 houses. We don't have enough time to go over the stuff they told us, but let me tell you, it is good. Look their website up. Crazy stuff down there.
There's also a restaurant where your waitstaff sings to you while they eat your food. And instead of an all-you-can-eat salad bar, they have the Andy down there in Tennessee. They actually have all-you-can-eat shrimp bars that come with your dinner. So very interesting place down there. Southern hospitality is beautiful. I actually understand why the world hates Philadelphia now that I've been around the country. Rolling Hills Asylum, obviously, that was cold. Very cold, very active, really nice place. And then the one we just did actually, which was really cool, the USS Salem in Quincy, Massachusetts. And that's a now defunct battleship. It's actually the first U.S. battleship with live ammunition in it. And if you actually want to go over your connection with the World War II, it wasn't in World War II, but it was right around the area. It was never used in active battle. It's more like a local we can build. Don't mess with us, they don't know us, but
Yeah, it was more intimidation. My great uncle was Admiral Kimmel from World War II. If you guys have watched Pearl Harbor, coming from a biased family standpoint, he was the scapegoat. You have to blame somebody. Come on, we don't know how the government works. Washington knew that the Japanese were coming, but let it happen because I believe they needed a reason to enter World War II. So what's the best reason is to be attacked, and you're going to have support afterwards, right? It's just common sense, I think, on that. So he took the blame for that, so it's very interesting to enter a battleship. And what's even further interesting about that is I said that during our episode, and we got crazy results. We actually had my full name said. We couldn't make out what it was said before that. I think it may have been Admiral before, but you heard Adam Kimmel said in one of the EVPs. Right after, we're talking like 2 minutes after this, we saw a shadow run down the hallway. We went there, we went live reporting active EVP, and that's when we caught it, which we knew they were watching us down there.
I blame his family. And then from there, just kind of an overview up there. And this is just a photo from the USS Salem, and that was just, we were maybe on the ship for 7 hours.
7 hours.
And we got a little fraction of it. And the historical group that runs it, there's some areas you're not allowed to go on because apparently it's not, it's obviously not commissioned anymore, but there's still buttons that can do things you're not supposed to. And that was pretty cool having having that hold of I'm not gonna press the button, but it was kind of neat to go out of our element and not be in a house or an asylum and be on the battleship. And it was just an awesome experience. I had a great time. Cold though. It's cold out there in Massachusetts. Obviously, Villisca. This is actually our one that we did a few months ago, the Penhurst State School. And I grew up around the area. Penhurst State School, back in the day, they had, Trans-Allegheny Police Asylum, a lot of places. There were, the Genesee County Courthouse known as Rolling Asylum. Most people weren't supposed to be on there. They weren't supposed to be in there. They were used almost like storage lockers. My little brother, who back then would have been put in one of these places. They didn't have Head Start. They didn't have learning aids. They didn't have, the life skills classes that they need to function nowadays. They didn't have that back then. So what they did instead were to build these campuses where they would rehabilitate them. And what they would do is they would actually just almost neglect. They would neglect the music. And with Penhurst, they got overcrowded. They were originally built for 250 residents maximum. When they shut it down, they were up to about 2,400. It was to a point that the funding was so neglected that the children of Penhurst, per child, were allotted less money from the state than the zoo animals in Philadelphia Zoo. And locally from where I'm from, there's a lot of denial about what happened there. It was kind of crazy that people say, well, no, that never happened, when there's clearly footage of that. Because somebody's grandmother worked there, somebody's, uncle worked there. And it's not that they were bad people per se. Think about if you're a nurse who's working 13 hours a day, and instead of being assigned to 3 children you're supposed to be assigned to, you're assigned to 20. What can you really do to help them? And in this case, Penhurst also has a bad reputation because, or a negative perception per se, because there's 2 functions that come out. Paranormal is open. And I think a lot of us in paranormal know that you focus on the history and the facts of what happened there. They open up the Halloween aspect of it first. They open up the insane asylum, the stories of doctors that did experiments on children in the tunnels. That's never true, but urban myth turns into mainstream credibility. And next thing you know, you have all these stories. And Penhurst Paranormal, Paranormal behind it, really great people. We genuinely care so much about this property. Their main goal is to get the story out there. And to raise money, they started doing the paranormal board, and we actually made contact with them, made contact with them over the internet. And they saw what we did on YouTube, and we put some feelers out there, and we met with them multiple times, and we were actually one of the few groups to get out there. There's been other groups out there, obviously, on TV, some local groups. But it meant a lot to us that they would get out there and go in there and see what was going on. We got into one building, the Mayflower. We're opening up each building as they go. I remember renovation is about $12 million building, so they're trying to fund it. But Penhurst, the campus itself is huge. That's just one main building, the Mayflower, and the administration building with the tunnel with the tower up there. So a lot of places that we've been, I'm sure you guys have been, you just get that sense of history, and you walk into a place and you just feel that difference between, the anger of the jail, you walk into a place where there was kids there, that it's different. And it was really, I think all of us, it was an eye-opener. Really, a lot of kids were abandoned there, and we'll go over, but I had a lot of experience in the basement with children because I opened up, back in the day, if you were born and you were asylum. Jordan escaped from there about 22 years ago.
Well, Sweet Daniel always says that I belong in the Genesee County Courthouse. No, that's a joke. No, Trans-Allegheny is about a half hour away from me. I'm from the Morgantown, Fairmont area. If any of you guys are like familiar with West Virginia, this is in Weston, West Virginia. If you guys ever get an opportunity to go to Trans-Allegheny, go. It is a fascinating location. It's huge. Oh yeah. And our dear friend, Greg Graham, aka Copperhead, the White Wizard himself, as we call him. Look him up on Facebook. Amazing guy. He's a guide here at Tala, and he's worked there for about 3 years. If you want to talk to somebody that sincerely knows spirits in a location, has a genuine connection with them, he is the guy you want to talk to. When I first met him, I was like, there's something about this guy. Like he has a different connection with the energies here. And there are people out there when you go into these locations enough and they start to recognize you. You want to talk about somebody that has a special interaction. It's Copperhead. So if you guys have any questions about Trans-Allegheny or anything like that, definitely look him up and get a hold of him. Very, very cool guy.
And then this is a list of other places we've been. We have some clips for you guys, video clips.
We're moving to the second half. We're going to show you the evidence. We're not just going to talk. You're going to actually see it here. That's the second half here.
A lot of these places here, you guys have all heard of them probably, they've been on TV. The kind of one that sticks out, the Calvin Center, Kelsey's been there. It's over in Youngstown, Ohio. Place is actually really, really active. If you guys ever get a chance, look us up on Facebook, talk to Kelsey, get you guys in there, look around. It's a cool place. Now a little bit about us. Every team has something different, unique about them, their strategy, their approach. So we always say that we want to stimulate the day. We want to get a reaction out. We don't want like a bad reaction. We want to get a conversation almost with them. Rules of the paranormal. We don't really have any rules. I'm very open in my opinion, and I know everybody differs, that for such an open field, it's hard to put something in a cap that's so not linear. I don't know. I don't know what we're dealing with. Nobody really knows. Everybody has their theories. Energy, spirits, and
Right.
I'm more of a kind of catch and guy. I think that obviously I'm being stupid when we're out there. I've seen some crazy stuff out there on the internet I would never do, and I just don't want to personally go on the other side yet. But I'm just not, personally myself. I just think do what you want. Be careful. The only rule that I would say we have as a group is respect the property when you're somewhere. That's the one that we always try to do, because at the end of the day, a lot of these owners, they forgot that they weren't wanting these places doing what they do. We wouldn't have any place to go. So I say, one rule we say, treat the place well.
Exactly.
It's like going anywhere.
When it comes to rules, especially when I started, I tried to reach out to a lot of teams, and I think it's a normal mentality. You want to reach out to the community and see what everyone's thinking. I was actually denied in the beginning. A lot of these teams, maybe there's a lot of egos in this game. And no one wanted to help me, and actually I have to thank that right now, because it turned me into an isolationist when it came to this kind of research. And when it came to rules, I had nobody in my ear saying, well, you can't do this, you can do this, this is okay. I personally believe, and I know we all can agree, when you are researching the unknown, which that is the paranormal, there really are no rules. If you want to do this and you want to do this, who says you're right or you're wrong? We don't have the answers. We're always open to new experiments. I love listening to people's ideas. There are no rules. Now, like Dan said, you have to be respectful, though. We're not going to give you suggestions for bad stuff, but, keep it legit to the property. When it comes to this research, have an open mind. Do not be embarrassed with any ideas you think are, too crazy or be accepted. Look at us. Let us take the criticism for you with the stuff we do. Just have an open mind. Rules of the paranormal.
And then there's the whole provoke or not provoke. I know the word might carry different things, but I think when anybody in the paranormal field says provoking, they think of Zach. I think Zach's not like what you think, but I think sometimes it gets pigeonholed. They go, he's the guy that yells at jokes in my shirts. I think, I personally am not a big fan of provoking in the sense of yelling at spirits. I mean, you go to the hospital and you start yelling at spirits. Why are you yelling at them? If they are spirits that were there, residual energy, what did they do? And number two, if you're a spirit and somebody comes up and starts yelling at you, screaming at you,
what are you going to do? Let me add on to that. I have a theory, and is like, okay, let's say we all died tonight. All right, it's cryptic, I know. Something happens, we all die in this building tonight. And for some whatever reason, we're trapped in this building, okay? After a few months, we're going to get bored of people coming in and trying to provoke us and say the same old stuff over and over again. That's why, which we'll get into a little bit later, it's called stimulating, all right? If we were dead after 3 months, we're going to get bored. Hey, can you make a noise over there? Hey, Robert, I'm going to go knock on the wall. We got another guy asking for it. It gets boring, right? You've got to think, if these people are passed over, and I'm not trying to cross any lines, okay, scientific or religious, it's going to get boring. Stimulate them, confuse them, and you're actually going to get results. And like I said, I don't want to touch it now, but we'll get into it. But just remember that idea.
Oh, I was just going to add on to, the whole provoking thing. I think that people have a mindset that as soon as you say the word provoke, it's like it has a negative connotation to it. People think, oh, you're going in and you're, yelling at the spirits and you're not being respectful. I kind of have a theory that, there's good provoking and there's bad provoking. Because in my mind, I'm like, well, provoking, I mean, you're wanting to get a reaction, obviously. There's a good way to do it and there's a bad way to do it. So, just keep that in mind.
Depending on the situation, if I personally believe, I can't say that I believe in the whole demons and angels when it comes to this research. Throw that out for a second. If you were a bad person in life, well, guess what? You're going to die and you're probably going to be a bad person on the other side. That mentality sticks, right? And if you were a good person when you died, you're going to be good. If you know that information, that person's bad, then maybe provoking may be the right answer to getting that attention you want, right? Go in with the knowledge and act on it. That's where I feel like provoking is, but you have to know prior to going into it.
Development, that's just really a fancy word for, I believe that, I'm a big believer that having different personalities on the team is a good thing. Different people, I think, having a gender mixed team, we've gotten a lot more results before on our team, different responses per se. I think it's important to really, use each member to their best ability. I make a vote, but I get scared a lot, I'm not so much anymore, because the more you do these things, the more desensitized you kind of get, and you're like, oh, okay. But I wear my emotion on the sleeve. Jordan always gets great responses, due to her, motherly role, I would say, which is not a mother, but I guess maybe it's a little my comfort. And Adam actually, I think a lot of spirits thinks he's the head of the snake because he gets a lot of threats, but we don't really do anything.
Oh my gosh, we lost count already. Now, wait till you see the EVPs we're about to present. You don't believe me now, I'll show you.
As far as equipment, I think everybody has their own personal favorite pieces. We have a lot, but we don't use a lot of it anymore. We've kind of gone down the line. I think if you're in this for a while, you find a couple pieces that you like the most and you go with it. But we've done everything from dowsing rods, melting. You guys know the standard fare. Our favorite tool I was here is in our video. This little voice recorder we call Pandora and the Spirit Box, which just blows my mind sometimes. So what we really like to explore, though, is the whole concept of walking through history. And this is something that we do in all of our videos. And walking through history is almost, there's Adam in the list in 1912, 1948, there I am, as a POW, 1979, there's Nurse Jordan as a Penn State School. We believe in what's called a ripple in time effect. So the ripple in time, I know some of you might not remember the show, but please, it's on Netflix, you need to see it. But we always try to say we're kind of I don't want to say ghost adventures, but we are kind of a mix of Quantum Leap meets Ghost Adventures.
Just because of the cameras, everyone says that. We're tired of stereotypes. That's why, come on, we even get called after Jordan's here. I mean, what else do you need? What?
Well, Quantum Leap, for those of you who didn't see the show, there's another guy who he was time traveling, and every episode he would wake up in a different body, he'd look in the mirror, and go, oh boy, and he'd be somebody else. So we adapt that, where we really like to recreate the past or relive history. We like to role play. We like to, go undercover almost with history and walk through it. And compare the plainclothes investigations versus, me as a POW, me getting attacked the prospect of place. I was going to say park, city. Jordan, as Nurse Jordan at the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital and at Penn State School. Adam, as the Navy seaman doctor over at LU. We get great responses. And the reason we think that we get these great responses is by walking in there and playing these roles, you kind of create a ripple in time. Meaning that, the spirits might think they're more comfortable talking to you.
Exactly. The thing is, okay, I was touching base on this earlier. If we walk into a room and we act the way we are in the now, if these people died 200 years ago, they have no idea what a cell phone is and all these devices. Although, if you blitzkrieg them, which is a German term for a sneak attack, very quick, like we go to a location, we'll immediately get into character and go in hot, acting like that. What is going to stimulate them more when they see something that they recognize from their own time? You don't go into the Velisca axe murder house with your iPad and all this stuff, because if I was from 20 years ago, this is the devil's toys right here. I'm not going to talk to these people. Although you dress up like the axe murderer, you dress up like the children, you walk around, you know, they're at least going to be curious. They're going to think, why are they dressed up? I recognize this. What's going on? That's our mindset at least. Ripple in time.
Yeah, to add on to that, I mean, I'm big on like energy theories type deal, and you know, I think that each of us, you know, if you guys are out investigating stuff, you're going to get certain responses based on, you know, you and your personality and your kind of energy you're giving
Listen
off.
close to this. This is fascinating.
Now, when you think about it, okay, so I don't want to get like too in depth because it's gonna like probably lose you and bore you. But you know, to keep it simple, you know, we're all giving off an energy, so therefore, you know, a certain energy is gonna interact with us. You know, I get different responses than what Dan gets or what Adam gets, and you know, they get different responses than what I do. But here's the thing: it's like, what kind of different responses can you get whenever, you know, as I'm a Pembers nurse going in and trying to, you know,
It
create a
upsets the
situation.
game. It upsets the game completely.
Then going in as, you know, Jordan just every day, it's like you're gonna get two different responses, and I think it's so good to show that, like, you're getting responses as, you know, putting yourself into the situation as somebody else in that time period, and then also still getting responses as you know, and it's cool, because I know from Penrith especially, you know, as being a nurse, we got a lot of kids, and then you'll see during
I think it was odd, and I know until you guys see the episode, they were very sympathetic towards Jordan when Jordan was Jordan and dressed like Jordan. Although when she was dressed like a nurse, you got very aggressive responses. It's almost like they put themselves back in the time, and they were like, "Dude, stop this nurse, what's she doing?" You know, that kind of stuff. She's dressed as Jordan, and it's like, okay, you know, hey Jordan. You know.
it's weird.
Very weird. That was an eye-opener for a game changer.
And I guess, you know, the one thing we kind of want to put a spin on this, more than just a ghost story, I thought that was an appropriate little spin to it. Really kind of going back to what we were talking about, the one thing that I've gotten out of the paranormal experiences and gotten out of the trips we've made, and, you know, it's just been really eye-opening to me that you can actually, if you want to do something and it seems really off the wall, just do it. I really never took a lot of like really big risks in my life until Adam and then really pissed me, but I found out I was really looking forward to these trips and I wanted to do it more and more and more and more. And just for me to get into this game, it really, really made me a lot happier. I'm a lot happier now that I am, you know, living up in Edinburgh, being a student again, doing the ghost hunting, than I was as a student high corporate officer. And I think, you know, I talked to a lot of undergraduates when I'm up there in Edinburgh, and I feel that there's such almost this atmosphere of just fear of the real world. You guys hear about it every day, how bad the economy is, how there's no jobs out there, how, you know, you got to take what you can get. And the truth is, if you do something you like, paycheck, yeah, you need a paycheck somewhere, but if you're doing something you like, life's a lot easier. And I will say, from the real world, it's not as bad as everybody wants to think it is, you know, at least in my experience. But that's what this, you know, Resident Undead, the whole, what we've been doing, it's made me so much happier with what I do. Like, I love life right now.
I'm going to throw some knowledge to you guys here. This may be controversial, but the way I look at life. Now let's throw paranormal out for a second. This is going to be motivational. I see life as 3 stages, all right? From birth to high school, you are, you know, raised, you go to high school, we're all in that bubble, and we're comfortable. We have an X amount of people around us, everyone knows everybody in their high school, you're comfortable. What happens after your high school graduation? Chaos. How many of you were scared after that graduation to come to college? And I'll tell you what, I'll be the first to admit it. I was homesick. I never wanted to leave my dorm room, because it's like you go from being a big fish in a little pond, that first stage, and all of a sudden you're that big fish and you're whipped into another lake, and it's even bigger. You know restart button on life, all right? Then, in that second stage, college to college graduation, and this is coming from the college perspective, all right, first. You're going to graduate from college again. By the time you graduate from college, you establish new friends and all this stuff, right? You're having a great time. You don't want to graduate. We all are like, let's just take another semester off. One day I did it, Dan did it. Then what happens? College graduation. The second stage of your life has now ended, and you go into the third stage. And I'll tell you what, the third stage is the most craziest stage, and that's where the chaos begins, which gave birth to Resident Undead. I'm one of those people where I would rather have fun in life than collect paychecks. And I'm sorry for saying this to you guys, you know. It's just like I would rather be the poorest guy in the cemetery with the greatest story than being the richest guy in the cemetery with no story whatsoever. We've all seen those fancy mausoleums. You know their name, but what? So what, you know? The third stage is where I fell almost into depression. I said, what's going to happen next? That's why I started chasing ghosts, and that's when Daniel saw. Maybe it's the frat boy mentality. We're kind of cocky in general. You want to go after the kingpin, so I went to Iowa because I heard the devil lived there. What do you think's going to happen? I want to challenge the devil, and that's where this all went in. I mean, I'm having a great time. You know, I may be the poorest guy in this room because I spent so much money on this. But I'll tell you what, I'm happy. I sleep with a smile on my face every night. Think about that. Really think about what you want to do. I'm not trying to discourage you from what you want to do. If you love your major, go with it. Be the best you can be in it. You know, I picked what I wanted. I want to be the best at it. If you want to be a finance major, be the best you can be and make sure you have that smile when you go to sleep at night. All right?
People are probably gonna call you weird. We had so many people.
Oh, people call us weird all the time.
Yeah.
You know, hey, we're laughing. We're
That's
all laughing.
happened for the paranormal, though, I promise you that. So I guess to finish out, you know, I went through and tried to find some quotes, I guess, that kind of made us think about the whole, what we've been doing. You know, happiness lies in the joy of achievement and the thrill of creative effort. With that thought, you know, I thought about what Adam does as far as the producing. If you want to talk about it real quick, like what you have built in a year.
Oh, where do I even start? I mean, you know, a lot of people think that we're a TV show, right? Thank you. We're not. I do this solo. I basically, you know, I do my work thing, and then I come home and I'll serve another 8 hours, and I'll literally put these videos together. Yes, it kills me. I probably have to go to the doctor, you know, for all like stress and chest pains, but I love it. I love creating these videos that some of you watch. You see the time that's put into it, and I love it. That's my passion.
Abraham Lincoln, and in the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's like in your years. Once again, that goes back to just... What's that? It is.
Well, very cunning individual to say the least.
Google is wrong. I'll look that up.
We knew one of you'd be here tonight.
Make sure you-
There's all these moves for you, so I know we're coming up.
Appreciate it.
And then first you've got to know, not fear. Know that someday you're going to die. Tyler Durden.
How cryptic. Let me into this. But there's a deeper meaning, and I know being college-based, you guys are going to love this. Come on, go down here for a second.
This is going to sound crazy. This is going to sound absolutely crazy. I love Fight Club. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever made about commercialism, materialism. Amazing film. It's a comedy, so I watch movies and a lot. We're all going to physically die one day.
We have to accept the fact.
It's a fact. But doing this paranormal experiences, and I'm still not sold on whether it's, if I fall over here, I'm going to feel or the light that goes off. I'm going to stand up and be myself and walk away. I don't know. Nobody knows. We'll all find out one day. But what I can say from my experience is that when I do go, I'm going somewhere. Probably to Adam and Jordan if I go first.
We can only hope.
But basically, it's given me always that adolescent sense of invincibility. Because I'm not afraid to take the risk anymore that I used to be afraid to take. Not saying I'm doing anything stupid, trust me, I'm an adult now, so obviously I can't do dumb things I did, 8 years ago. But it just makes me a little bit more optimistic about everything, There's something after all this.
You guys ever heard the term, you don't know a good thing until it's gone, right? We all know that term. Once you start reflecting upon your own life, because we all think we're invincible, we think, like a paper assignment you have in a class. We have those last minute procrastinators, right? Because you know that time limit's up. You're trying to finish a paper last minute. Do you want that to be your life? That when you're 90 years old, all of a sudden we're buying Camaros and we're buying, and we've all seen this. We've all seen a 60-year-old man driving around with a Camaro, right? Guess what? He didn't get the memo when he got it late, right? So now he's trying to pick up the pieces. Understand it early and watch your success go on. Watch it.
And when working in finance, I talked to a lot of individuals that were older, and they would always say that they had all this great stuff, but they had no use for it. And that always kind of got me. But I've talked to you guys that were so successful.
Exactly. You know exactly.
I worked in finance, opened my eyes a lot. Great people, though. When they do retire, they're happy, but then they're kind of, I don't plan to ever retire. I hope I can still do something afterwards. And then, my favorite quote of all time, this was said to me by Adam Kimmel, right before he left for Villisca, Iowa, on my first paranormal ghost hunt in November 2010. He goes, "Daniel, get ready for the adventure of a lifetime."
I'm one of those people that sees the future. I see 10 steps ahead.
It's been interesting, I'll tell you that much. So, that's our presentation we put together. We tried to, do a little bit of different thing, introduce us. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, let's take questions because we have our best evidence video after this, and I'm sure you guys are going to have questions after this. If you have any general questions you'd like to ask us, do not be afraid. We'll give you straightforward answers.
I'm sure you guys get this all the time, but out of all the places you've been to, what's your favorite and why?
What?
What's
Favorite location and why? Take it in. What's your favorite? This is hard. Every place is a little special, but just sugar-coated to the point, I guess. Favorite?
Well, listen, my first one's going to have, it's like your first girlfriend or boyfriend, they always hold a special place in your heart.
So good. That's so good knowledge. It is. Yeah, that's good. Jordan?
Penhurst. Penhurst for sure. It's different activity there.
Saddamsville Rectory and abandoned church. I guess it was big to me because I was raised Catholic. And once again, I'm not trying to draw the line between scientific and religious. But we had access to an abandoned Catholic church and an abandoned Catholic rectory. It was like a field day for me. Like, I'm going to have a good time. What I heard that day defied a lot of things for me. And it was just something that it struck home for me. And we'll get into that later. You'll get to see actually how it's collected in there. But.
Any other questions, comments?
One at a time, please. We want to take some time.
You guys ever have sleeves with children?
No.
I don't know.
But that's interesting about being followed. I think there's two kinds of hauntings when you break it down. Oh, wait, yeah, it's two the way I would look at it. Cemeteries and commercial properties, let's put it that way. When you look at these hauntings at commercial properties, it's always like, well, if you go to Hill Commander, you're going to talk to so-and-so in the basement. Well, apparently he doesn't follow anybody because he is in the basement, right? I don't think you're going to have as many people follow you from commercial buildings. They may temporarily, but they seem to be attached to that property. There are physics in place that we don't understand that the right now physics cannot explain, okay? Now let's go to a cemetery where I think these are free-roaming spirits. And at first, that's how we all start. We start in a cemetery. A lot of seasoned investigators would say, don't go to a cemetery and say certain things. Now, when I first started, dude, I'm way too gung-ho sometimes. And I said, well, why don't you guys follow me? I'll bring you out of here. I'll get you out of here. That's literally one of the first things I said. I have never had more activity follow me home than that cemetery. And I consider these to be lost souls. Like if we died and we were in a cemetery following our body, I just think that there's nothing holding you back. And if you see somebody you recognize, Daniel walks past the cemetery. I know George experienced this. You walk past the cemetery, these spirits see you like, oh, that looks like so-and-so. I just have a feeling they're kind of attracted to that. They follow that word ability. They know where they are. I don't know.
Well, to
There's
add
so much
to
more
that
to
too, they travel. A
They do travel.
lot of them can travel.
Proven fact.
It is, and I'm not going to get into that, but they do travel. So they might be attached to a location, but then they have some attachment to you. Boom, they're with you 1 second, and then they're right back to their location. So they do travel.
If that's it, which guys, I'm glad you just hit it to the wall there with questions. We can only take so much. What we're going to do is give the stage to Steeltown Paranormal. You guys are ready. You guys want to talk to Pat? You guys want to talk to us? We need a small intermission to get set. Come on, Paranormal Challenge. Come on. Be proud. Be proud. Yeah. Hey. Yes. Nice to meet you too. First time meeting right here, actually. All right. Yeah. You can just talk that question.
How you guys doing? Anyway, I just wanted to, first of all, I want to thank these guys for allowing me to come up here and speak to you guys for a few minutes. I just wanted to mention about an event that we're having in June. It's called the Steeltown Spirit Symposium, 2012 Steeltown Spirit Symposium. It's going to be at the George Washington Hotel, which is in Washington, Pennsylvania. It's going to be June 9th this year. We're going to have, it's kind of the way I would describe it, it's kind of like a paranormal conference meets a wedding reception. I guess you could say it's more like a formal event. We're going to have a dinner. It's going to be a buffet dinner. We're going to have 5 speakers. One of the speakers we're going to have is the Chief Judge for Paranormal Challenge, David Schrader. We're also going to have, many of you guys may have heard of David Roundtree. He wrote a book called Paranormal Technology. Very scientific guy. Lock up the equipment, measures, barometric pressure, all kinds of stuff that's really in-depth scientifically. But he's a pretty interesting guy. He also works with a psychic named Tracy Ray, and Tracy's going to also be one of our speakers. The two of them have collaborated recently. They're kind of bringing the metaphysical and the scientific together. She's going to be a speaker, and also Patty Wilson and Scott Brown. They've done extensive work in Gettysburg. Patty's a very accomplished paranormal author. She's written dozens of books. They've been on some TV shows before. They worked with Mark Nesbitt. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mark Nesbitt from the Chris of Gettysburg documentaries. They've worked with on the show called Mysterious Journeys. Like I said, they've done extensive research in Gettysburg, and they're going to be speaking as well. They are, that's all our speakers, I guess. We're also going to have Sandy Peters. She's a psychic, and she's going to be doing readings. She's not going to do any speaking, but she's going to do readings. Again, it's June 9th. Tickets are $50 for the dinner and the speakers. We're also going to have an investigation, 2-hour investigation at the George Washington Hotel. We're still working with the hotel to see how many areas we'll have access to. Right now we're going to sell 20 tickets for the investigation. You're going to get a chance to investigate with Dave Schrader, David Roundtree, some of these people that you may have seen on TV before. Also some members of Steeltown Paranormal are going to be investigated as well. And it's going to be a 2-hour investigation. $75 for those tickets. That includes the dinner, the speakers, and the 2-hour investigation. If anybody is interested, come and see me or Melanie afterwards. You can also check out our website. It's www.steeltownparanormal.com. Or hit us up on Facebook. We're on there. And all the information that you need will be, you'll find it on our website. We're hoping to get a good turnout. It's going to be an intimate, more of an intimate kind of deal. Like I said, more of like a semi-formal kind of business casual thing. And then the investigation, I guess, you can bring a change of clothes or whatever. It's not really, it's a functioning hotel, so it's not an old abandoned building where you're going to get dusty, dirty and stuff like that. But I'd still recommend bringing a change of clothes if you want to participate in that. Again, if you have, we have some flyers that we can give you if you're interested. That's really about it. As far as the paranormal, thank you.
Awesome. We got you.
Yeah, that's the flyer I was talking about right there. So if anybody's interested, like I said, just hit us up and let us know. We'll definitely try to accommodate you. We have some tickets. We brought some here actually in case anybody's interested. I don't think anybody's got money on it right now. So, but as far as our group, we were founded in 2009. Myself and my wife Melanie founded the group. We have 16 members right now. We've been investigating actually for about 8 years, me and Melanie. She grew up in a haunted house. She can tell you some stories that'll blow your mind. Things that are crazier than anything we've seen in Waverly Hills or, you know, these places we've been to. She's had some pretty wild experiences at home. So she got me into the paranormal, and we formed Stilltown Paranormal in 2009. We were fortunate enough to have an experience to be on the Paranormal Challenge. It was a cool experience. And we're also going to be on my ghost story coming up here. I'm going to film it actually next week. It's a story on a place called Tim Secret Treasures, which is an antique store in Charlotte, Pennsylvania. And they're doing a story about the location. We got some pretty cool evidence there and stuff like that. I'm not really allowed to reveal too many details, but so I look for that. We'll be on there probably in July or August. And other than that, that's pretty much it. You can check our website out again, www.stilltownparanormal.com. All the information is on there for our conference. Hopefully some of you will be able to make it out. Other than that, thank you very much, guys, for
Steve, world.
We're going to take a quick 10-minute intermission, so you guys can get up, go to the bathroom, do anything you need to do, and then they'll finish up.
With a lot of fun evidence videos, that's really the meat and potatoes of this stuff. So we have some cool stuff coming up. I love the evidence. It's what we all like, really. We love the evidence, where it's what you come for, so good stuff.
No documented proof of him ever saying that.
Yeah.
So, but it's okay. I mean, that comes up. Well, I got a sign that says it too.
I'll just put Ralph Waldo Emerson on there.
No, you know. So it is. It's.
Jordan stated what she was wearing. And of course, we take Jordan back to the third floor. We wanted to create a situation where we tried to make the spirits think Jordan was taken against her will for us by people unknown. Hopefully when they see this full-blown blitzkrieg, they may be more open to communicating their sympathy. Chained to the radiator, her baptism by fire starts now.
Come join me, children. My name's Jordan. You can feel free to say my name at any time, okay? So what's going to happen is I'm gonna hit a button. You're going to see a red light. I'm going to ask you a question, and then I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to give you a little bit of opportunity to go ahead and answer, okay? Then, here's the exciting part, kids. Then I'm going to hit a button, and you are going to hear your own voice. How cool is that? Super cool. And if there's any of you out in the hallway or something, don't be afraid of me, okay? I promise. I'm not going to hurt you. Nobody here is. And if there is something here that's going to hurt you, you tell me, and we're going to hear it, okay? So, like I said, I'm going to ask you a question. You answer them. We speak one at a time, okay? All right, guys, so here goes. Is there anybody in this room with me right now? Can you guys hear your own voices on Pandora whenever I play that for you? Can you guys say my name for me? I could be wrong, but I think I heard my name. Is there somebody out in the hallway? I hear some shuffling. Come on over here. All right. On the count of 3, you guys come over here. Is that the wind or somebody slamming something down there?
Unless there's a wormhole
Is that the wind, guys, or somebody slamming something down there? Or somebody bothering you guys?
Well, you know what? It's cool. I jacked up the video. Test, test. Guys, we're just having a problem getting the speakers towards the back to turn on. Unfortunately, we're so broke, we do not have this fanciness going on. We have these speakers here, those are inactive, all the back. These are, a lot of this is audio evidence. I only have one visual, maybe two, I think there's two visual. So if you with it, guys. We'll see what's going to happen. So, this is the best evidence so far collected in the last year and a half. We have I put 9. Because our first investigations we were learning. There's no reason to show you anything. It says, hey, okay, we've done better than that. So, we're not going to waste your time. If you have stayed, thank you. This has gotten way better now because I don't believe in talk. I believe in the visual. You're going to talk the talk, better have something to back it up with. And this is now 9 of the best pieces. And what I'll do is we're going to pause. We're going to let you watch it raw. Okay? You're going to watch it raw and let's see if you can take it in what's going on, because it's the first time clip. The first clip is Villisca, Iowa, and we have a spirit box. I'm just going to tell you guys straight up. If you don't know, you don't know what it is, I'm just going to tell you straight up. It is a device that will scan over the AM or FM frequency extremely quick. It's a rigged box that will scan. You'll hear chopping, and for every chop sound, that is a station that's being scanned over. Within that choppy sequence, you're creating an artificial white noise. And we believe, I solemnly believe, that within this artificial white noise created, we can hear the voices of the deceased. The clip you're about to see, which in 1 second, I just want to explain, there's one tab here. We got a full sentence, which is not possible because if you were going to hear something, it would be one word over that clicking, because you're catching that channel. But if you can get a whole sentence over multiple clicks, that's multiple stations saying the same thing, which it just can't logically happen. But unfortunately, that happened in the Villisca Action Murder House. Okay, now I'm going to explain it real quick one more time. We're going to play it through so now you can see. The first clip was in the living room of the Villisca Axe Murder House. You hear a voice, which we believe is Reverend Kelly, who, if you look in the history, it is believed that he may have actually killed the family or assisted in the murder, which I personally believe he had a hand in it. I don't know what he did, but that voice says that catch up with the Bible. You're going to need it. And he was a very religious guy, right? That voice, the reason I'm saying to Reverend Kelly is earlier, we caught a voice that said, it's the same old Reverend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you asked who he was. So that's what leads to that. So, Dan, if you can go back, play it one more time now that you guys understand. Oh, and also, the second one you heard was in the children's room. It's hard to speculate what you hear. To me, it sounds like a tricycle that a little child would be rolling on. We're actually catching the residual energy on our recorder. And at the moment, we didn't hear that. Hauser, who is the tour guide, did hear something. He turned his left, he didn't know what it was, but you hear it clearly on the digital voice recorder. So, play it back one more time from the start, Dan.
I thought I heard confess, but say that again.
Second one.
Exactly.
So that's what you hear right there. And like I said, when it comes to EVP, electronic voice phenomena, you don't hear that always in the moment. And it's very ironic that we catch that noise in the children's room where 4 children were murdered by an axe murderer back in 1912. The next clip, you can run it up here. Like I said, go raw, I'll tell you again.
Madison, Ohio. The Madison Seminary.
What's your name?
clearly see, this orb speeds into frame from camera right to left, and then hovers in an almost perfectly still position. Then, it dematerializes as it shoots towards the ground.
Dan, pause for a second. Now, I would have thought that was a bug, and I thought it was at first, because with orbs, and I'll get that towards the end, I can explain more into orbs, you know, it's hard to tell what a ball of energy is and a bug, right? When you look at that, it has clear definition. But what you're about to hear next is a voice over the spirit box, basically confirming that Daniel yells, Adam, you have an orb in front of you, you have an orb next to you, an orb next to you. The spirit box gives us a response immediately after. Hit it, Dan.
This is one of my names. That's beside the orb right next to you.
Where is it?
It's on my camera right now. And there it goes.
Got it for a second? That was me. Like I said, it may be hard to hear. It's always hard to sometimes amplify this when you're in the moment going raw. You hear a hand go, that was me. I was always a skeptic of orbs because it's so easy to debunk this kind of stuff, but you hear a voice immediately after that, that was me. I do believe in the physics theory. Isaac Newton says when there's a conversion of energy, when you have fire, you have smoke. It's the conversion of energy. You cannot destroy or create energy. So if you were to die, from a scientific point of view, there is an energy conversion. What is the most common shape in the universe? A sphere. Because everything comes in on itself. Gravity pulls it in. Why are orbs circular? Because if you were a ball of energy, you don't have any definite form to yourself. You're going to collapse in on yourself and be a ball. All right? That is what I think these orbs are. Okay, and I think 99% of the time they can be debunked. This one, though, when you have a voice right after, that was me. I don't know, guys. That looks pretty good to me. Let's move on to number 7.
Trinway, Ohio. Prospect Place.
I'm Adam, that's Dan, and that's Jim. It's time to talk.
Get out.
Get out.
Get out. Get out.
Get out.
Get out. Get out.
Get out.
Get out.
In that one, the audience a tad better because we were getting smarter and evolving with how we're filming this. You can hear the clicks, all right? Those are the channels changing. It's very ironic to have, in sequence, one channel say get and then another one out, but this is spread over the clicking. I think if I timed it right, that's over like 4 channels, okay? The irony of that is just it's too coincidental. You have a man saying, get out, and that's part of a cross where there was satanic worshiping at one time. Hit up the next part here, Dan. I saw you! I saw you!
That was me.
That was me!
That was me. I heard that clear as day.
That was me!
That was me.
That was me!
That was me. I heard that clear as day.
That was me!
That was me.
That was me!
That was me. I heard that clear as day.
Okay. What happened, I'm cutting this raw from our episodes because I obviously can't play the whole thing. What had just happened was we were sitting in front of there and something that had mass had gone across the window and it blocked it out. Obviously, I'm up, I just saw you, was that you? And over the spirit box, you hear that was me. So we're all looking, was that you? Now here's 2 theories. Maybe a ghost is fooling you, like maybe he saw me, I'm just going to say, but something reached out and said, that was me. It's very similar to Madison Seminary with them showing the orb. That's what you're seeing right there. So, get it up in. That was me!
Youngstown, Ohio. The Calvin Center.
Let's talk one more time and see why I've upset you. Was there something I may have done tonight? Pause for one start real quick. Was there something I've done tonight? I need to explain one thing before you go raw into this. I wanted to show you that there's no sequence cut to this, so there is no way that a voice of ours is being captured in this. When we get more into this, you'll just see the raw evidence. This is from when I push the recorder button, and we're going to wait. You have to ask a question and have them respond. You need to give them time. It takes a lot of energy to come through. You're going to see us, me asking the question. I'm going to stop the recorder, and I'm going to play it back. So listen in, you're gonna hear nothing.
Voice activation.
Now this recorder is voice activation, so you're gonna see an anomaly between, like, there's gonna be a pause while you're watching the recording, but when it plays back, it goes to question, and if there's an answer, it's gonna play right after, and then to my last MVP. So you'll see. It'll make sense.
Just real quick, explain a little bit, because we're so used to it. Basically, if I sit in a room and I ask 5 questions over a 1-hour period, like one question every, every 20 minutes, and there's no response, you would just hear question 1, question 2, question 3.
It'll play back just like that.
It has to be activated by a voice actually recorded.
Exactly.
Walking in here, did I do something to offend you? And if I did, what is it that I did? Keep talking. And recording. Now for everyone watching at home, I'm aiming the recorder so you can see that on the screen. That red light, that when it stays solid, that's recording, and it's only voice activation, so it's not going to record the entire time. It either cuts to me talking or a response. That's it. So let's play it back here again real quick. Get out, Adam. Get out, Adam. Get out, Adam.
Just take a look. I want to show you that initial moment before you piss yourself. That is that moment, okay? Now, okay, what else do I need to show you? For one, this should just be endgame right here. They're coming through, my name is called, you heard there was no tomfoolery, there was no camera changes. Because some people say, oh, well, you guys are cutting camera angles, and while you cut that camera angle, you're saying something to the recorder. The thing about faking an active EVP such as this is it's like, it's distortion in the white noise, so I encourage any audio analysis, any person that does audio analysis to look over this stuff. Hey, easily, try and debunk this stuff. You saw a straight clip and you hear a voice come through, get out, Adam. So clear that Daniel is repeating it, when Jim, you hear this. So let's play the next clip here.
I like this picture. So
That's a good one. That's a good one. Go speed that up. Dude, my body is like tingling.
I know. Me too. I get goosebumps.
Wow. Still scared. We all heard that? Speakers are working good. This was what we call quarantine, and sometimes I feel that spirits are intimidated in numbers. I believe ghosts are everywhere, but right now in the numbers we may be in, we're not going to have something weird. I don't know if it's just the energy we give off. They're scared of it. I believe that when you isolate yourself, which I'm in a basement in Youngstown, enjoying a Friday night. This is actually my birthday, guys. This is my birthday. This is what I do on my birthdays. And I was by myself, and I was asking questions like David said. I was waiting and pausing, and here you have get out now and all that. Quick, I couldn't make out that last one because it could be controversial. It was either prick or quick, but I thought it was quick. So, of course, prick, who knows. But that is the response there. Active EVP in the basement by myself. I gave myself up, just come and get me, kind of thing. You know their name.
serious?
Obviously, no, what it was.
Saddamsville, Ohio. The Saddamsville Rectory, an abandoned church.
That's all I needed to know. I'll play it back.
Holy shit.
In which we will show you in the next moment. Probably the devil himself ran at Daniel, and I actually ran at me, but Daniel heard in his audio, which you're going to hear in a moment. The audio picked it up perfectly, and we had a camera coming from that direction. We heard the running. We had a pebble come down. Now, it's no church. A pebble could have fallen down. I'm a realist, guys. I'm not trying to be an illusionist to you. It's very possible that the ceiling had a crack and a rock fell. But when we were doing something, it was almost like it was tossed off the top of the balcony and thrown at us. So that was what was leading to that question. Now, right after that, though, which we'll play here.
Holy shit.
Something rustling ran at us. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that's why I
Did you hear the recorder?
I think I got something on the recorder from this on your mic.
You were like, hi, dude.
Yeah,
Someone just ran out over here.
that's me. No, because you have that mic up. I heard it when you jumped in. That's why I jumped back. Yeah.
The stationary cam, which was in front of all three of us, captured what sounds like something running at us. I'll replay it from the stat cam's angle.
I'm a perfectionist. I had to look at this over and over again. The reason I was sold on this is, for one, the audio you're hearing is a camera that is about from me to this camera over here. So you hear the clarity in that? That's not coming from my audio receiver. That's literally coming from the camera's audio in front of you. That's why it's so crystal clear. And the first thing is, if you really look at this, the first step is out of sequence with me. You actually see me respond, and you hear shuffling after that. You know, you hear something immediately, and then it's shuffling after. So that's the only reason I was able to line it up. You hear something out of sequence with us that something must have manifested and ran at me after I asked this question. Probably the same entity that threw the pebble. But that's speculation, we're just saying. So, get it up, Dan.
You feel something? I feel like smiling. When I say let me turn the lights on.
There shouldn't be. It felt like it was like tingling. You know, just sweating.
Holy shit.
What?
Holy shit. Wait.
No.
No. Dude.
No.
You have 2 scratch marks on your back right here. Keep your shirt up here. Let me see if you can pull this up a little bit. Pull up your shirt. Dude. No. Jim, here, pull your shirt back up, dude. Look at this. Hang up. I'm trying to get the angle on it. Dude. 2 scratch marks.
Right there. You
Clear as day.
You got me.
Pause it.
Wow.
Okay, it's tough. We have a light on and stuff. Anyone who's watched this episode, you knew what built up to this. I'm sure you were all going into it. We were asking Father Macdo, who's the priest that lived down there. We were just saying stuff. We were getting responses, and after we had cut, came to a response saying, he was responding to, I did, what was the question asked? Do you remember that off the top of your head? We had said something, and we got the answer, I did, right? Again, and after this, we were just taking a small pause. We kept everything running, which when you do this, keep the cameras running, because we know when you shut it off. That's when stuff gets good. We have to keep it on, and Dan said, check my back. You said it felt like sweat dripping down. Yeah, it happened earlier, yeah.
It felt like sweat, and the weird thing is, this is the only time I've ever been, physically angry. The thing that kind of got me, well, first I was scared. I was like, freaking out, I wouldn't be there anymore, Usually you see the 3 scratches, we saw the 2, which I thought was interesting. not
I
me
appreciate that. I appreciate the third one on that.
But yeah, I didn't like that. Then he stuck me in the church shirtless, trying to get me
We're
straight.
gonna go hard when this stuff happens, so we got limited time. But yeah, you can see that if you watch the flips, which I encourage you guys to do. You can watch the full sequence. I did not cut it. There's no in-betweens. You can watch the madness unfold.
Oh, wow.
You gotta be.
No, don't move.
This is upstairs for my quarantine.
Ending EVP. Now what I'm going to do is play these back individually into the wireless mic here on my collar. You're going to hear it first. Playing digital voice recorder number 1.
I don't know who came through on that. I don't. There was never a name given really in that moment. But you see when I put those lines under, and I'm not trying to fool you guys. I don't really know. Like Dan knows and Jordan knows. Like I'm spending like 16-hour days when your mind goes crazy sometimes. And if I don't concretely know what it is, you get a blank line. Some people, which I encourage on YouTube, will go like, "Hey, it sounds like this." That helps a lot. You know, I'm open to ideas. If you heard something, you know, tell us later. But at the end, it almost sounds like it says, "I'm going to kill you." Honestly, it sounds like someone's spitting right after that. Is that like no tone of a word, but like spitting? So it's like, "I'm going to kill you" in a spit. This was actually the Greek room where I think the altar boys lived at one time. And they caught apparitions in the chair where I was sitting, like moving the chair back and forth. Very active spot, but you get the next one here.
Dude, I've got goosebumps already. Well, you guys wasted no time. South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. All right, play that back.
And I apologize because you might see like the lighting is a little delayed. When we do that, it's almost like training drills. I want to build these as if someone doesn't know what they're watching, is watching it for the first time. That's never seen EVP and like, you know, because sometimes when these TV shows do it, they just put the word up and then you're like, well, I didn't hear that. So what I'll do is I'll actually literally zoom in on the audio and per syllable, I will make the red go so you can hear it the way I think it's interpreted, the way Dan thinks it's interpreted, Jordan thinks it's interpreted. And so there's a little delay, don't worry about that, you know. So just that might help you. It's kind of obvious, I just want to tell you in depth there. You know, this is Dan duct taped to a wheelchair.
Yeah, if you complain about being tired and wanting to go to sleep, this is what you get to do.
He was complaining like he's tired, you know, but hey, it's getting cold in here, you felt pressure on his chest, and you get this, I think it's the janitor, there was a very angry janitor down there, and Dan started to say this, and literally in real time you hear a man go, hey kid, it's me. That EVP, I did not catch the first time, you know, because like I said, your mind goes crazy after listening, oh, audio, and all of a sudden I'm listening, I hear the me, real pronounced, and I'm not sure, like, Dan didn't say me during this, and I actually reverse engineered the audio, and I'm like listening. Once you figure out the me, you go backwards and you can hear the hey kid, it's me. Because the first part is kind of hard to hear, but dude, after the me part, it's so easy to make out. This is my favorite EVP. This is Old South Pittsburgh. Cindy said this is the best EVP they have ever captured. This was in the cafeteria. Doug earlier said we get the best EVPs in this room. In a cafeteria, right? Just an active EVP, playing it back. To this day, Cindy says this EVP has not been matched.
You're getting too close.
Because I'm just going to put her up to your audio. Hold it out.
The moment of acknowledgement, that was so clear. No. The amount of energy that took, I've never heard something that clear. You can almost in this one hear the tone of the voice. Instead of the crispiness in the noise, you can actually hear a man's tone going, no, yelling it. So as you can see, scariest one to date.
Wilder, Kentucky. Bobby Mackey's Music World.
Pause for 1 second. This is a new piece of equipment. This is, on the screen here you're seeing, this is the Obelisk X. It was actually a prototype at the time. Obelisk X. Is that what's everybody see Obelisk X? It's been a while since we've used it. Obelisk X. It's basically a device where they can use amounts of energy to manipulate a phonetic database. And I know it sounds crazy. I've read this up. I'm like, man, this equipment's kind of crazy. But apparently through levels of energy put into this box, certain words can be said. I didn't really believe in this tool until here because Bobby Mackey's apparently is a very satanic place. Cults used to come in there, do their stuff. A woman's head was cut off. And the word that comes up is just too ironic because to this day, this word has never come up on the Obelisk X again. Actually, it came up 4 times, but you'll see the one here clear.
All right, playing back the active EVP. What do we got?
Ghost.
Ghost. Ghost on the obelisk. All right, Ghost. You understand. You know we can talk to you. All right, playing back.
Satan again.
We're going to have to put a Satan count on. I think that's number 3.
Tell me anything right now. Absolutely anything. I can hear your voice as you talk.
What the?
Don't say that.
Yeah. The first time we heard it, we were on it.
What's that? No, that's actually a good example. This was actually caught only moments after the Obelisk said that. Now you have 2 pieces of equipment. You know, one says Satan, okay, now they're independent from one another, and then all of a sudden, active EVP after that catches what we believe says Satan, right? Almost like it's mimicking. Now the sound's turned off. You normally can hear a robotic voice go, you know, Satan. We had that turned off because we were doing the active EVP, so we didn't want that to catch in our audio recording. At first, and this goes to show, we don't always know in the moment what this says. You're seeing the nice polished up version after we've had time to listen. In the moment, we're reviewing it on the spot, and it took us about 5 minutes, and then we came to the realization.
Able to figure it out. Although, only after a few playbacks, we could hear the word Satan. This is the first time we've had an EVP and the Obelisk X say the same thing, only within moments of one another. All right, starting active EVP. This is not going well.
years, and I will still have that shock face because there's that moment of realization when you have a voice coming through, saying your name, and we knew in the moment, I could hear the syllables, Adam. You know, it never gets old, and it's never going to get old, actually. So you'll actually see that face a lot.
Like you, Adam.
Quincy, Massachusetts. USS Salem.
Okay, we're gonna do one more time down here since we got we got 2 good responses there. I'm gonna put it down here again. You know how it works. And it feels cold down there with my hand. What?
You just had a big orb come right
And
out there.
I just said it. It feels cold, like this cold blast of air just came up.
Big one.
What's so fascinating about this light anomaly coming up from the butter room is that it brushes right past my arm as I notice the cold breeze coming up. And on top of that, you can see what looks like an intelligent path going directly up and then pulling a 45-degree turn off screen.
What country are you from?
Well, you got no coming. This is Ripple in Time. Okay, it's a POW. Okay, so going back to what you just saw, the reason I love putting that in there is because some people, I feel, in television shows, you know, someone sees something on, oh man, I saw this thing come out of you, and all of a sudden, the person who had it near them goes, oh yeah, well, I felt a cold breeze right here, you know, like that. Here's the thing though, if you remember just hearing that, I actually said I felt a cold breeze come up before Jim had mentioned anything. You know, he saw it right after that. The cold breeze is what I felt first. So this is going hand in hand. I'm feeling something and we're seeing an audio anomaly. Do I know what that is? It's probably not a bug because we were like 3 levels underneath. Okay, there's bugs in this ship. This thing's on lockdown, right? You see the room that came out of was a morgue at one time. There was a mission of mercy back in the day that the Salem participated in. There was an earthquake in Greece. Countless people died, right? I don't understand why they took the bodies from the land and put them in the ship. I'm not exactly sure why, so I'm not going to speculate, but they took the bodies and put them in the morgue, right? Which it was a temporary morgue. We're talking literally 50-some bodies stacked in this room. It was off limits to us until the end because apparently the activity was so bad. There were actually people going down there shut off because people were taking holy water and throwing it down there, okay? That's advised this. After the holy water was thrown, they were talking like you could hear like doors slamming down there, people getting scratched and pushed. It clearly opened up some kind of portal per se, but that was from the water room coming up. This is Dan as a POW Japanese pilot that we captured. We were all in role play. We put him in there, threw him in there, and Daniel queued up.
Who is your home?
What country are you from? Who is your home? Who is your home?
All right, playing back. Got too many cameras. Playing back.
All right, be good running. Don't go and sit there, okay? Just yell at it. Just yell at it. All right, come here, grab me and do it.
Okay, the thing about that, that was the longest sentence we've ever captured. You hear a full sentence. I let that thing sit for maybe 5 minutes. So you hear my question in the beginning, and then literally it was just talking. It took me a while to get that. That's one of those EVPs where you kind of have to get one word and word from it. So you can clearly hear, oh, my editing's not that bad. I think you guys are hearing the sound before the visual. I'm like, this is terrible. You guys are hearing a delay. But you guys can hear it first, so you know what's being said. Awesome. To this date, I've never captured a sentence that big. And like again, we'll get into this. What are they actually saying to us? How do we interpret it? We'll get into that here because you're getting a lot of help needs and stuff like that. Number 1, Penhurst State School.
Spring City, Pennsylvania. Penhurst State School. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Going live on Pandora, mounted to the camcorders. Let's walk through this hallway and see what happens. Let's go night vision. Okay. My name is Adam.
Daniel.
Dan's behind me.
Jordan?
We'd love to hear your voice. We have the ability to hear you. So come forward and just talk to us, okay?
I can tell you guys are playing with Pandora. You really are fascinated with it. So if you want to go grab your friends and come in here and tell them to come play, but just remember, talk one at a time, okay? Tell me your name.
Do you know what Play-Doh is? Can you make a noise if you want to play with the Play-Doh? And saw a huge shadow across the back wall. This shadow's not big.
Pause for a second. Yeah, it's all right. It's over. Okay, those last 3 things you just saw at Penrith State School. We opened up a can of worms, right? Because it kind of gets slightly religious at one point, but
Yeah, no.
Go ahead.
I